Welcome back for another semester of Carolina News Today. I'm Abigail Brown.
And I'm Emmy Shulua, and we're going to go over some things that happened on campus while our show was on hiatus.
And Tyler Hughes is here with a roundup of the week's action in Brave sports. Stay tuned. One campus statue had a few changes while we were away. The Hamilton McMillan statue was refurbished in front of Old Main. The construction was cost-effective and paid for by individual donors. Refurbishments did not take long. However, planning for the changes began last summer. The art department and artists helped fix the statue. The executive director for communications and marketing, Jody Phelps, says the changes to the statue were minor.
Hamilton was, somewhat worn. He had been there for a while, and he had his patina that he needed to be refinished. He came off of the pedestal that he was on. There was a new base that was installed so it could be elevated off of the ground, and really created a nice space to honor that statue in his memory.
Martin Luther King Day is observed in many places as a day of service, and UNCP is no exception. Students were matched with local nonprofits or charities that needed a helping hand or a little extra elbow grease. Here they are, helping the United Way put care packages together. But the day has been expanding into the whole week here in Pembroke. Student service leader Lucas Martinez spoke about the effort on an episode of Campus to Community.
We switched to more of a week of service focus. That way we could offer more opportunities with community members and make it more open to their schedules instead of having it on Monday and in the morning.
Yeah.
So we've offered it during the week now. That way community partners can have more time with volunteers and whatever they need done. This year we had approximately 269 volunteers who volunteered over 900 hours with a community impact of $23,000.
The Spring Involvement Fair in the auxiliary gym saw a record turnout this semester. Students could explore clubs, media organizations, and Greek life as a way to stay engaged with the campus community. Transfers and new freshmen had about 2 weeks to get acclimated to UNCP before coming out to sea to get involved outside of campus. The Office of Campus Engagement and Leadership was thrilled with the results.
We really thought that the turnout this semester for the Spring Involvement Fair was really great. We only had about 450 last year, and this year we had 509 students show up. So we had 62 organizations there, along with 5 offices and departments as well. So we really are grateful for the turnout that we had this year. So the reason we have the Involvement Fair every semester is we have an intake of students every semester, and we want to provide a route for those new and incoming students to find a way to get involved through organizations on campus.
One way to get involved in our community might be animal rescue. The Robeson County Humane Society is looking for responsible pet owners to adopt some deserving dogs and cats. We've got a new feature for you this semester. Here's Career Pickney with our Pet of the Week.
Hi, I'm Career Pickney, and this is Pet of the Week. I'm here at Robeson County Humane Society, and we're with Mindy Morris and Gaia. So what's the background on Gaia?
Miss Gaia came to the shelter with her 5 other siblings. They were the Greek goddess collection. Miss Gaia was the last one to be adopted, and unfortunately she ended up coming back. She had a little bit of food aggression with her housemate, so she ended up coming back, and she's been here ever since. She'll be 2 years old in March of this year. She is heartworm negative, up to date on all her vaccines. She's spayed, and she gets her monthly heartworm and flea control.
So how can someone apply to take Gaia and the rest of her friends home?
You can either come to the shelter if you're locally, or if you go to our website, Robeson Humane Society, you'll be able to access our forms, our adoption application. You fill it out and send it to us. Once it's processed, it usually takes 24 to 72 hours to process. And once you're approved, we'll set up a time and you can come pick up your new fur baby.
Thank you, Mindy. And that's all for today. I'll see you guys next week on Pet of the Week.
A local police chief who found himself on the wrong side of the law will have his day in court. Former Red Springs Police Chief Ronnie Patterson and Town Manager David Ashburn are set to appear in Superior Court on June 4th. Both men are charged with 10 counts of unlawful removal of public records and 10 counts of conspiracy to commit removal of public records. Ashburn is also being charged with an additional 10 counts of unlawful disposal of public records.
The North Carolina Department of Transportation wants residents to report potholes in their communities and has several helpful tips for drivers to reduce crashes and save lives. It's NCDOT Now.
Welcome to this week's edition of NCDOT Now. I'm your host, Miracle King. Last December's early winter storm has Department of Transportation crews busy due to increased potholes in roadways. Potholes are common during the winter season when water seeps into the cracks in the road and ice forms. Those cracks widen, causing the asphalt to rise. Traffic loosens the pavement, eventually creating a pothole. Safety is the department's #1 priority. With 80,000 miles of state roads, we need drivers, law enforcement, and others to help identify locations where potholes need to be repaired. To speed up the response process, motorists should go to the DOT's website and search pothole to let the department know where the pothole is located. Your report will go directly to the county maintenance office that will handle the request. In other news, 2 highways in Robeson County where 11 people have died in vehicle crashes over 5 years have been chosen for a new pilot safety study. The Rural Route Safety Study is sponsored by the department and the Governor's Highway Safety Program in partnership with Robeson County's Vision Zero Task Force, which seeks to eliminate fatal crashes. In all, NCDOT is studying 8 highways across 9 counties with the same goal of identifying strategies to reduce crashes and save lives. The Robeson County Task Force is already seeing results since forming a year ago. There were 53 fatal crashes in the county in 2017, with that number dropping to 48 last year. That's all for this week's edition of NCDOT Now. Make sure to stay in contact with us on Facebook and Twitter at NCDOT. You can also follow us on Snapchat and Instagram at NCDOT.com. From all of us here at the North Carolina Department of Transportation, safe travels.
A 7-year-old girl springs into action when her great-grandmother suffers a stroke.
And a British rapper who many assume to be American faces deportation in Atlanta.
Those stories and more after this message.
Campus engagement and leadership is a team, and our mission is to provide experiences for students in a values-based and student-centered environment.
Together we are a brave nation because serving students is our passion.
We encourage students to connect with peers, faculty, staff, the campus community, and beyond.
Getting connected means identifying your interests and matching them with a multitude of opportunities here at UNC Pembroke.
Engaged students never stop learning.
Being engaged means celebrating the culture of campus through personal and group exploration.
Leadership at UNC Pembroke is about creating a legacy that will leave both the campus and the community better than you found it.
Leading means working with others in a supportive community to create positive change.
Connect to opportunities, engage in exploration, and lead your community. Together, we are changing lives through education.
It was a dog of a day of a winter in one part of Colorado, and that is meant in a good way. A group of more than 900 golden retrievers gathered in the town of Golden. Reporter Matt Morrow tells us it was a doggone good time.
Golden has gone to the dogs.
Thank you for coming, Golden! We love you!
But this is not a party for just any kind of four-legged furry friend, but a doggone gathering of golden retrievers right in the middle of Golden.
Look at all this golden love! This is awesome!
Follow me here.
They are so special.
Stephanie Palco brought her golden Parker.
Oh boy, look at all these babies!
All the way from Parker.
It's going to be so much fun.
To Golden for the first ever Goldens and Golden Gay Love sorts.
Very excited. He loves outings.
So do the rest of these Goldens. Some are young, others old, and all are patriotic to their people and a friend to those who share the same shade of fur.
They love other Goldens, and we don't worry about them around people because they love everybody.
Oh my God,
So you really don't have to worry about any of these Goldens barking up the wrong tree.
Dexter.
But you do have to worry about the shedding and fur a flying.
I got dog hair blowing in my eye.
Hannah Button with Visit Golden doesn't think that's too rough because Goldens and Golden is her golden idea. She helped procure the puppuccinos and the other golden gear and fetch Kevin Shipley with Golden Retriever Rescue of the Rockies.
I mean, Goldens are perfect Colorado dogs.
And there's no better way or place or day to celebrate them than on National Golden Retriever Day in Golden, when every one of these dogs really has its day.
Isn't this fun? Oh, it's heaven.
So on this warm winter day that you could say is golden, a grand total of...
That's 911, so that's as many as we counted.
That's right. That's at least 911 cold, wet noses and happy tails wagging down the street. And these dogs, they're not just good, they're golden.
A 7-year-old Rocky Mount girl is being called a hero and is credited with saving her great-grandmother's life. Here's the story.
Remember that I was on news?
At just 7 years old, Nakaya Silver is a lifesaver. Just ask her great-grandmother, Phyllis Blackwell.
I had no idea anything was happening.
A few days ago, Blackwell was meeting Kaya, as she's affectionately known, at the bus stop near their home, as she usually does. But this time, there was something unusual.
She had her eyes closed.
What Kaya didn't know was that her great-grandmother was suffering a stroke, but she knew something was wrong. Listen to what this first grader did next.
I had put a car in park and I said, wait here, Grammy, I'm going to go get help. And I went to go get my Aunt Penny.
Getting help meant Kaya ran from the bus stop about a quarter of a mile away to their home to get help.
She had the smartness, she had the presence of mind, like you said, to help, and that's what she did.
First it was on drive, and all you gotta do is turn it to park.
Remember, she's only in first grade. She had no trouble demonstrating how she helped save her great-grandmother's life, even showing us how fast she ran to get help. It's a day that made the already strong bond between Kaya and her great-grandmother even stronger.
U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement has taken Grammy-nominated rapper 21 Savage into custody. ICE says the rapper is a UK resident here illegally. His real name is Shea bin Abraham Joseph. The rapper has long said he's from Atlanta, but ICE says he's moved into the U.S. in his youth and his public persona is fake. He has taken into custody in a sting operation early Sunday. ICE says he's entered into the U.S. legally as a minor in 2005 with his parents, but became illegal when he did not leave the U.S. when his visa expired the next year. ICE notes in addition to violating federal immigration law, he was convicted on felony charges, drug charges back in 2014. Removal proceedings are now underway. His attorney says Mr. Abraham Joseph is a role model to the young people in his country, especially in Atlanta, Georgia, and is actively working in the community, leading programs to help underprivileged youth develop financial literacy.
A comeback win on baseball's opening day.
And in basketball, the Braves have a new member join the 1,000 Points Club.
Ty the Sports Guy is up next with all the details.
What's up, Brave Nation? It feels great to be back to bring you updates on Brave Sports. I'm Ty the Sports Guy. Let's start with women's basketball, who went up against Flagler College in what was a close game through 3 quarters, but fell off in the 4th, ending in a 10-point defeat. Let's look at the action. Melanie Horn starts off with draining a short corner shot, then a wraparound pass from T. Graham to Danielle Heath for 2. Later, a down-court pass from Avery Locklear to Shania Lester leads to a self-rebound and putback for 2. Towards the end of the game, the Braves were struggling to hold on to the lead, fouling Flagler and coming up with a game plan to come back. But with a missed triple and a rebound from Kiera Crane leading to another foul, the game ends with the Braves taking a loss to Flagler 41-51. Our 21-ranked men's basketball team also went up against Flagler on Saturday, which ended in a blowout. With Flagler committing 22 turnovers, 17 of them being steals from the Braves, the chances of Flagler coming out with the win was slim to none. 2 tough baskets were scored both by James Murray Boyles and Akia Pruitt. Then, Flagler's Logan Swackhammer with the reverse layup. Cam Hamilton decided that he could do better with this tough angle of a layup that got the crowd pumped up. Tyrell Kirk also contributed with a tough layup to keep the Braves ahead. Flagler's last effort from the three-point line was successful, but still came up short, giving the Braves the victory 90-52. Last semester, we told you about James Murray Boyles joining the 1,000 Point Club. During our hiatus, another member of Braves basketball joined the same club. Akia Pruitt, junior star forward, completed this milestone on January 30th against Francis Marion. Here he is in the Flagler game. He became the 36th member of the program's 1,000 Point Club on a tip-in 36 seconds into the second half. Associate coach Drew Richards praised both players' determination.
I mean, it's been huge, it's kind of a testament to their work ethic. Both of those guys have developed each year and improved. It's something you have to do if you're going to join the 1,000 Point Club, and their work ethic has definitely increased since they've been here, and they both wanted to be good players. So they kind of started out with the base when they first got here to be freshmen, and they realized how good and their potential could be. They've really worked at it, so it's a great accomplishment for both those guys to join a 1,000 Point Club.
Women's softball had back-to-back games against both Kutztown and Shippensburg on Sunday, winning both with only 1 point difference between the two games. The Braves had a combined 28 hits on the day, including 10 doubles and a first collegiate home run hit by freshman Cameron Davis. Jordan Hall only gave up 8 hits and struck out 4 against Kutztown, while Mallory Leviner struck out 7 and only allowed 3 hits in 6 innings of pitching against Shippensburg. Braves softball also had a doubleheader Tuesday against Fayetteville State, and the chances of the Broncos coming back to win wasn't what the Braves had in mind. 27 combined total hits, with 7 different Braves having extra base hits, including a home run by Alyssa Price in Game 2, gave the Braves the run rule victory in both games. Score for Game 1, 9-0. Game 2, 16-1. Talk about a blowout. Braves baseball had a high-scoring game Sunday against Shepherd University. In the top of the 4th inning, Shepherd put together a group of runs, giving them a commanding lead over UNCP 10-2. But the Braves decided to kick it into full gear, putting together a trio of multi-run innings, ending with a walk-off single from Ethan Bochum. That gave the Braves the victory 13-12. This win gave UNCP a weekend sweep against Shepherd. The Braves will close out a season-opening 6-game homestand this weekend when they suit up to battle Indiana in a 3-game set on our home turf at Sammy Cox Field. UNCP's 10th-ranked wrestling team snatched a big road win over Newberry College on Monday. This victory gives the Braves their 2nd straight win, improving their record to 6-5. This also crushed Newberry's 9-match win streak. In the 125-pound matchup, 6th-ranked sophomore Nick Daggett achieved a tough win over Austin Neal, 8-6. The Braves would finish the night with 3 consecutive wins, including one from the nation's 2nd-ranked 165-pound wrestler Ronnie Shepard with a 19-9 major decision. The Braves will travel back to Eliza Arena on Saturday for the Newberry Open. That's all I have for sports this week. Till next time, I'm Ty the Sports Guy. Emmy, Abigail, back to you.
Thanks, Ty, and that's it for us. I'm Abigail Brown.
And I'm Emmy Shula, and we'll see you next week.